Ready? Okay. Good afternoon and welcome to the Finance and Capital Management Committee meeting. I am Barbara Sykes, Chair of the committee. Joining us today is our Vice Chair, Gregory Harrison, Dr. Renee Molinar, a member of the committee, as well as member Diane Autry, and our President, Jackson. So if we can start with approval of our past committee members, committee member meeting minutes.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to pass the previous minutes summary.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Okay, we're going to go right into our 5-year forecast. Mr. Treasurer.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, co-chairs, President Jackson, Superintendent Otley, and Diana. Today we're going to go over the 5-year forecast for this year. We're going to be reviewing the forecast earlier than we have in previous years because the biennial budget for 26-27, House Bill 96, has moved up the deadline 45 days this year. Next year it'll be 90 days, so this year we have to submit it by October 15th. There's also one other major change to the forecast. We won't be calling it the 5-year forecast much longer. They are changing the structure to go from 1 year of actual and 5 projected to 1 year of revenues, appropriations, and unreserved cash balance and 3 years of projected. So it'll essentially be a 4-year forecast. That will start next fall. This school year, we're going to be moving on in the same format. So here you can see our current fiscal year. On the left-hand side, we have our beginning and ending cash balance. And on the left, we have that we're projecting to receive $377 million in general fund revenue, spend $387.5 in general fund expenditures for a projected deficit of $10.4 million. And that's going to reduce our cash balance from about $89 million down to $78.7 million. Our revenue is made up of the following categories. The biggest category is at 55% is state funding. That's $206 million of our total revenue. Our local taxes make up 155.9, and our all other revenue, which includes things like interest income and Medicaid, makes up the other 14.8. Slide 3, our expenditures for the year. We're projecting to spend about $315 million, or 81% of our budget, on salaries and benefits. Our purchase services are at 42.9 this year, and our other expenditures are at $29 million. Slide 4, we're showing our projected revenue and expenses side by side. So you can see the blue is revenue, the orange is expense, and our expenses are far outpacing our revenues over the next 4 years. On the right-hand side, we see our projected cash balance declining rapidly. When you get to 2028, we are actually in the red, $13 million. So our 3-year financial outlook, we're going to net deficit spend about $45 million over the next 3 years to trending towards that $13 million deficit. And then by 2030, we're going to overspend $159.9 million for a projected net deficit of about $81 million. Here we see the annual change in revenue versus the annual change in expenses. Historically, we have received about 1.5% increase on our revenue every year. We're projecting from 26 through 30 that we'll only receive about a 0.12% increase. On the expenses side, we have historically seen 5.34% increase in expenses each year. But this year, or from 26 through 30, we're forecasting that to be slightly lower at 3.3%. This is a graph of our days cash on hand. And you can see that that is also rapidly declining. We started back in 2022 with 120 days cash on hand. This school year, we're projecting to have about 74 days towards the end of the year. But by 2028, we'll be in the red on cash. District enrollment. So as you can see, we're expecting this to continue to decline. It's declining about 1% a year, or 218 students. On the flip side, our per pupil general fund expenditures continues to climb. This year it's at $20,588, and it's projected to go as high as $25,000 by 2030. That $25,088 divided by an 180-day school year gives you that $114 daily cost per pupil. About $88 of that comes from state, federal, and other taxes. And 23% of that comes from resident owners' property share, so the local tax share, which is about $26 of that $114. It's the last slide of our forecast. This is showing that our current revenue compared to May is about $443,000 less. We're also expecting expenditures to be about 1.9% or 1.9 million higher this school year. So in conclusion, on the current path the district is on, we'll be facing serious financial difficulties in 2028. It isn't too late to make decisions that will impact that, but we need to do that now. The sooner we do that, the quicker we can start to turn this around, and we can hope to resolve it. Are there any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Bauer.
Sure.
Are there any questions from the committee members or members of the board? Sorry. Okay. I also want to recognize that our superintendent did join us. Welcome, Madam Superintendent. Thank you, Mr. Bauer. So this is pretty much what we've been seeing, and we understand that's why we have to continue to look at the various cuts that we will have to make. If there's no additional questions, then we're going to move on to the permanent appropriation resolution.
Correct. I just want to mention that we will be submitting that by September 30th. We'll have it in the September 22nd board meeting. We do this in compliance with Ohio Revised Code 570538 every year.
Okay, thank you. And now we'll go on to the state performance audit.
So we've decided to go ahead with the state performance audit. And I have sent an email back to Lori Gabay from the auditor's office confirming our scope. So we plan to do the financial management, human resources, facilities, and transportation areas. And as soon as she comes back with information on that, I will, of course, update everyone. Something I learned this week about a performance audit is that the entire board can meet and discuss that, and it's not considered a public meeting. So that's interesting. That's something I knew before. Thought I'd share that.
Mr. Bauer, so when you say the entire board can meet and discuss that, what do you mean, to discuss the scope or to meet
So-
with the state auditors?
Yeah,
or-
so as, they call them update meetings, so as they work through what they're working on and finding, we can meet with them and discuss whatever it is they've discovered, what they're suggesting we start to do or not do. We could just meet, and it doesn't have to be a publicized meeting. It's not covered under sunshine law, which I thought was interesting.
Oh, okay. Any questions from committee members, members of the board? Just I understand that we originally thought it would cost about $60,000, and that amount has increased?
Yeah, we had assumed it cost at least as much as our financial audit, which is about $60,000 every year. But they have told us that it could cost anywhere from $80,000 to $120,000. Now, we did not select nutrition, so that would hopefully keep it closer to the 80, but we'll see.
Okay, and then one last question, if there's no other questions from the members. Do you know what is the next step? Is there something we need to pass as a board?
I'm assuming that they'll send us their proposal, and then if we agree to that, we'll get an engagement letter that I would then submit as a board resolution for you to approve.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So next up, we have the health insurance update.
Yes.
Would you introduce the two individuals that's coming before us?
So today we have Judy Newser, who is our benefits manager,
Okay.
and Paul Catania from Oswald Companies.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. What we wanted to talk to you briefly today about is just one slice of our health insurance program. We are looking at changing our pharmacy benefit manager for the next plan year, which would begin in January. And so just as a quick refresher, the district is self-insured for health insurance, meaning it pays dollar for dollar, and we contract with a provider to process those claims, take advantage of their network pricing, and those types of things. So we have been with Express Scripts for several years and accessed their buying program, their bulk buying program, and pricing discounts through the RX, I always trip over my tongue, the RX Ohio Collaborative, or otherwise known as the ROC. Based on some of the research that we've done and providers that we've talked to, our recommendation is going to be that we move to a different pharmacy benefit manager. The plan design is not changing. It's who is processing the claims. We are going to recommend that the claims pharmacy benefit manager move to CVS Caremark through the buying group of Employers Health Collaborative. And this will allow us access to better pricing. We anticipate that it will reduce our pricing by about $2 million?
$2.2 million.
$2.2 million, and have very limited disruption. And limited disruption would be, I used to take, prescription ABC, and that's no longer covered as a preferred drug. Now it's EDF. And mining all the data from our claims, we have determined that that is very minimal, less than, I believe it was 10 people will have some potential medication changes or disruptions. Again, just in summary, our claims have come in at about 27% higher over the previous time last year. And that's not a unique thing to Akron Public Schools. That is a national trend that is continuing, as we all see in the news, that the cost of prescription drugs is rising at an alarming rate. Our specialty pharmacy is right now driving our pharmacy costs. And these specialty drugs are typically your high-cost drugs used to treat cancer, rheumatological disorders, GLP-1 inhibitors, diabetic and weight loss medications, those are also driving our cost upward. So in closing, the rising cost of healthcare is going to cause all employers to adopt new strategies and programs. And our goal is to do that without changing the benefit platform. So by partnering with employer health through CVS, that'll allow us better programming, better analytic reporting, formularies, rebates, biosimilar programs, and it also offers a more robust customer care experience for our members, which is important. And there is more drug transparency pricing available to members as well. Any questions?
So are there any questions from the members of the committee or members of the board? So on this, any questions? No questions? So are you projecting any savings?
I'll let Paul handle that one.
And Judy did a fine job explaining.
And you want to repeat your name again and
Sure.
spell the last name for us,
Sure.
please?
My name is Paul Catania, Catania. I'm market president for Oswald Companies based here in Akron.
Thank you. Okay.
And we've had the pleasure of working with APS now for several years. We've reviewed the medical claims activity, both on medical costs as well as prescription drug costs. Those two things together make up your total claim spend. And even though the prescription drug costs have gone up considerably, as Judy mentioned, when you combine the total plan cost, when you look at the medical, hospitalization, physicians, plus the pharmacy, plus any fixed costs that are negotiated every year, your year-over-year spend for the health program for 2026 is projected to be in the low single digits. With this change, it'll save an additional 2%. So even though the prescription drug costs are going like this, we're looking at how prescription drugs impact the overall spend on other claims as well. And that's the trend that Judy was referring to. Even though prescription drug costs are going up, in some areas we're seeing other types of unit costs stabilize. However, we need to be ahead of this on the prescription drug costs because we've looked at this probably 3 years in a row, and there has been some, I would say, trending north on the rock. The current prescription benefit manager and Employers Health has proven for the last several years that their discounted rates and their ability to negotiate contracts on the CVS Caremark formulary are more powerful than what the ROC is able to get us on ESI Express Scripts right now. So there's actually a net minus 2% cost difference for the plan, to answer your question. So it adds up to about $2.2 million.
Great. So has Mrs. Nesser, has the staff been made aware of this
No,
proposal?
no, not yet. We will be doing a marketing campaign. We have our annual open enrollment coming up for health insurance. So we will make sure that everybody has all the information that they need, and we'll probably begin those communications in October for 1/1 effective. And our new provider, CVS, will also assist with that. They'll put in a special member call-in line to help, transfer prescriptions over and all of the things there as well.
Okay. Member Harrison?
So with our savings, are we passing this on over to the consumer individuals as co-pays, or is this an actual savings overall?
So it is a savings, and it comes in, and Paul, don't hesitate to jump in here, but it's all about buying, it's bulk buying. So the agreements and, pharmacy benefit managers, it's kind of a shell game where their costs go. But we will realize savings because we are paying less for the drug. The members' co-pays do not change. Those are flat. What it will be, instead of paying $1,000 for a drug, we may get it for, $990.
tell you, the saving, and you answered it beautifully, Judy, it is a savings off of what the plan would otherwise pay if we didn't make the change. So the employees are, again, they're paying their copay, those are locked into their contracts. And, but the actual unit cost of the spend that we have on all of our drugs will go down by $2 million.
Any additional questions? All right. Thank you. We appreciate you coming.
Thank you.
today.
Thank you.
So next on the agenda is the board members' event information. I think everyone had an opportunity to look at that. If there are any questions as it relates to that? If not, all right. Unfinished business. Is there any unfinished business? Madam Superintendent, anything you want to bring to our attention? No? Okay.
Do we have
Member Harrison?
Do we have an update on building, the building projects?
Thank you for your question, Member Harrison. For this meeting, there was nothing presented. Any updates that we did have, we included in the weekly notes, the Friday notes.
Okay. And we still have the meeting scheduled for the Miller South Pfeiffer project on the...
Yes, we do. And there's a flyer that we have created in collaboration with the Councilwoman, Tina Boyce.
Mm-hmm. And that's September 23rd?
Let me check for you.
I believe it's September 23rd at the Kenmore Community Center at 5 p.m. 5 p.m., 5 to 7 at Kenmore Community Center. 5 to 7.
5 to 7.
On September 23rd. Yeah. Okay. Any new business? There's no new business. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? So the Finance Committee meeting is finishing at 4:51 p.m.